Number 32, worksheet A number 32, G part 3 says, do you think that the null hypothesis should be nullified or rejected? Give a reason or give a valid reason for your answer. Now let's recall that there was a hypothesis. There was a research question, what is the mean expenditure? And there was a hypothesis, well, the mean is less than 160. And that's the objective that we've got. So data was collected in order to verify if this claim was true or if this claim is true or not. And here is the data. And a box plot is going to be used to do that. And that is where GPAT 3 is focusing now. We are zeroing in to test whether this hypothesis is true. Now, take note when it comes to decision, because bear in mind, as we said from the beginning, we have gathered here to learn about statistics, which begins with the collection of data, organization of data, the representation of data, the analysis of data, to decide and conclude. So the decision part now is either you reject or you do not reject the null. Okay, just like how wherever you are in this part of the world and you have to write a sentence in English, you must begin with a capital letter. Must. That is set by convention. So it's something like that. When it comes to decision, for example, there could be a class going on in a university in America, and they are doing hypothesis testing and they have to make a decision. They must reject or do not reject the null. That is set. No matter where you go, you have to reject or do not reject the null hypothesis. That's why they call it the null hypothesis. The hypothesis to be nullified or not. Okay, so take note of that. Now, HO now, our HO, and as you can see, HO will always say that the mean is equal to 160. Now, is that true? Go to the box plot, because it's a box plot that we are going to use to give us an idea. When we look at the box, that's where the majority of the values are. Anytime you see you look at a box plot, the majority of the values is indicated by where the box is, between the lower and the upper quartile. So that's why it is written the majority of the values are between 136 and 152. That's where most of the values are. Now, is that equal to 160? Because the null is saying that the mean is equal to 160. But most of the value, even the median is 143.5, and the median now is an average. So is the average equal to 160? So as one of our students said, that when you look at the box plot, most of the values are between 146 and 152. And the median now, which is an average, is actually 143.5. Clearly, 143.5 is less than 160. So obviously, logically, the mean appears not to be equal to 160. So we have to reject that null statement. That statement has to be rejected. It is saying that the mean is equal to 160. Okay, so here, G part 3, reject the null. Bear in mind, when you see HO, you have to say the null. That's the symbol for the null. So the statistician decide, instead of saying the null hypothesis, they just create a symbol H with a little O. And when you see it, you say you say the null hypothesis. All right. So here it is written, reject the null hypothesis because the median is 143.5, which is an average. Second, the majority of the data values are between 146 and 152.